Hello guys, welcome to another episode on I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Today we are gonna try to mount this wing. This arrived last week. This is the 326 Power Wing style, so it's not the original thing. The original one is a lot more expensive than this. This one was about, I want to say like $250, somewhere around there. So in order for me to mount it, I want to put it on, but I don't want to put it on the flat part because I did it and I've seen pictures on the internet, and I've seen how people put them here and they just look horrible. The reason why I wanted to get it is because I saw, apart from the S13s that you see that have the wing, I saw a G35 that had it, and it looked pretty cool. And I'm not sure if it was a forum that I read a while ago. I actually wanted to buy that wing for my fiance's car, and I knew all the work that I had to do to it. But basically, the wing, it doesn't wrap around here. Obviously, the wing, the mounting points, they're flat. So let's pretend like this is the flat part. So it will go like that. But then I want to bring it back. And in order for me to bring it back, that means it's going to have this giant gap. And I don't have anything to bolt it to on the back side, as you can see. So my idea is to put it on and then do something in here to fill it and then shape it to the hatch. This is a carbon fiber hatch, so I feel like I'm gonna need something to reinforce the inside because I don't want, you know, the thing to just fly off when I'm driving really fast on a freeway or something. So I'm gonna have to do something in there, but I'm gonna walk you guys through what I did. So first, I grabbed my measuring tape and I measured the mounting points, and I measured from the end to the middle of it, and then also right here, and I, you know, got almost the perfect distance between the edge and the inside of the mounting point. And then I needed to know how far back I wanted to go, so I grabbed something to make it flat. So I pretty much just made sure I was like in a completely straight angle, and then that's the back end of the mounting point. So that's where I got my front. So I centered it and I got my mounting points, and then I grabbed some piece of paper and I just traced the mounting points from the left and right. Once you get that, you cut it out and you find out exactly where the holes are. So for this side, you see I taped it back up in here, and then I see that the holes are there. So the next step will be to drill through, and then once you drill it, I'm gonna put the plate on the back, bolt it in, and then work on the rest of the wing. So it's a lot of work just for a wing, but I feel like it's gonna be worth it. The only thing that I'm worried about is that I don't know if I'm gonna re-wrap the hatch and then wrap the wing as well. I think I am, but yeah, I honestly, like, I saw the wing and I put it on. In my head it looked one way, and then once I had the wing on here, I was like, I don't know. But you know, I already pulled the trigger. I sold the last one that I had and I bought that one, and I'm not sure if it's gonna look good, but all right, so here we go. Gonna make the first hole. All right, so you see the two holes right here. That's where I'm gonna be putting that metal plate. So let's see if it works. All right, so if you're anything like me, you're gonna fuck up a lot. So I tried to put some bolts in there and they wouldn't fit. Like, I thought they fit, but they didn't, because it looks like you put it in there. And I tried a couple bolts, went to the hardware store and got some. They were the wrong size, so I tried to put it in and it got stuck, and I couldn't take the thing out, so I had to, you know, drill a hole and take the nut out. And this is the nut. So I took this nut and I went to the hardware store, and now these should fit perfectly fine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But anyways, so I went to the store and I got me some Gorilla Weld, and it bonds to metal and also fiberglass. So I'm gonna put this nut in there, and it says that it dries up in 10 minutes. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this, but we will try. See, this is good because there's one fuck up, and you guys can learn from that. So don't do what I did. Actually think I need more than that. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll be fine. Alright, so we're gonna ratchet this thing out of here because it's pretty hard. You got it loose. Okay. Back in business. Just gotta shave this off and then I'll be good. Alright guys, so finally got the wing completely mounted on the car. As you can see, the front of it, it's not even flush all the way. Yeah, as you can see, and that is pretty tight in the front. I don't want to go any tighter because I don't want to break something. So I put tape all around here, that way I can start laying some filler and fiberglass and all that. And then this is the reason why we have to modify the wing. As you can see, it's that much that we have to build up. So yeah, the holes are a little big. I have to fill those in. Oh, and then for the hardware, I just used these long bolts and then some washers in the bottom. And then for the front of it, obviously I used something a lot smaller than the long ones, because you know these have to be a lot longer than the fronts. All right, and here's the stuff that I bought in order to make this work. So we got the gray filler primer, Bondo glass, we got the fiberglass mats, resin, and then this is something that I used on my fiance's G35 and it worked really well. So this is foam, and my idea is to pretty much make up the rest of this wing that I have to make right here in the bottom with this. So it's gonna be this, and then I'm gonna shave it down in order for me to fill it with, you know, fiberglass. But I'm getting the shape with this. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm using the tape. So I'm gonna fill through one of the holes back here, and or in here somewhere, and then fill it up. And then once it dries out, peel it up, shave it down, and then start adding, you know, the fiberglass. And once the fiberglass is in there, we add, you know, the filler, and then, you know, we give it the shape that we want. All right, here we go. I think I'm gonna do from the bottom. it's gonna start oozing out of it. Alright guys, so it's the next day today, and this thing is pretty hard. So I'm about to take the tape off and then see what we got under. Alright. Alright, so that's as much as I can get off, so we're gonna start giving it the shape. Might need a new blade. This blade is kind of dull. I got a couple here though. Give me a second. Alright, so I took the wing off and it has the basic shape, so I feel like I should have filled in these a little more, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, so next step would be to get some of the resin inside this container. And then I'm going to start cutting these to shape. That way they're not too big. And then we're going to start laying them on the top. Once we get the top, then we do the sides. And hopefully it works. I've never done this shit, so I'm just winging it, y'all. Oh yeah, definitely have to cut a bunch of pieces. Alright, so I got these cut. Hopefully that'll be enough. So now we're gonna put the resin on a container that I found. I cut like little slits so I can, you know, go around the screws. I'm gonna do that a couple times. I'm not sure how many layers I should do, but I guess we're just gonna have to, you know, put it on and see. Alright, so thanks to the help of my brother-in-law, Andy, we were able to lay some fiberglass on the top side. It looks like it's pretty caked on there right now, but
pretty even though.
Yeah, it's even, and then
we're trim it and do the sides.
Do the sides, sand it down, but obviously we're gonna have to wait for this to dry first, so we'll see how it goes. And by the way, when you mix this, you gotta be quick because this thing gets hard pretty quick. All right guys, this actually has been a week. I got called back to work, and well, I haven't had time to actually work on this, but we're back, and the fiberglass dried out. And you know, it looks all messy, but I grind it down this side to the shape. It's gonna be a lot thicker, so now what I have to do is sand this down
and then lay more fiberglass on the sides and let that dry, and then we come back and sand it again. So I'm gonna show you guys how I did this side on this side. I went and got me another bottle of resin because that one ran out quick, and I finally got me a fucking brush. I didn't have a brush in the beginning. Definitely buy a brush. So I'm gonna put half of this, and then I'm gonna put half of the hardener in here. You can use the brush. So I just put a little bit in it and then lay it. Thanks to my brother-in-law, I learned that. And we just start dabbing it with the brush.
Alright, so you guys can see it dried up. It's pretty hard. You're still gonna get more layers, but that's gonna be with the Bondo. Right now what I'm gonna do is I took the bolts out, that way I can sand this all out, sand it all around. And so I got this little sanding wheel thing. I believe is 120 grit, so I'm just gonna use this and smooth it all out, and then you know, mount it on the car, and then start applying the Bondo that we got down there. Alright, so I sanded it down and I was able to mount it. Once I put it on, I try to put the screws in, and since the nut is like way up here, by the time you get up there, if you don't line it up right, it's not gonna thread in. So you got to be really careful when you make your holes. Make sure they're not too tight. That way you can actually you know, move it around so you can actually get the threads in. Never actually mess with this. I mess with regular Bondo, but not the fiberglass kind. Alright, so I went and added the fiberglass Bondo all in inside the little holes that were in the bottom, and then a little bit around the whole thing, also on the other side, and then right here. Yeah, it looks like shit, but once it dries, probably end up adding another layer, and then take it out and start sanding it down. Alright, so what I would recommend, if you have like the blue tape all around there, and when you put the fiberglass resin on there, try to clean it up. Make sure that you don't have all this on the hatch, because it'll make it fucking impossible for you to like actually get it off. So what I did is I took the tape off and I try to chip away all the stuff that I can by just peeling it, obviously without scratching the hatch. And then once you can't do anything else, I would recommend pushing down like that all around, and then just start jerking it little by little, and it'll eventually come off. Alright, for the first I don't know, phase of sanding, I'm gonna go with 80 grit, and I'm gonna use this 80 grit is very rough, so it'll get most of this out pretty quick. Alright, so I sanded the crap out of this thing, and I got the shape. Still looks ugly, but it's smooth. I wish I can smooth out a little more on the insides, but I had to measure how much it was from the base, from right here to this point, and also I measured from way over here to here, and I got them both to the exact measurement, pretty much. But yeah, it took me a while. And the tools that I used was obviously this 80 grit. I use mainly 80 grit for everything, and then I use these little sponges to get in like the small corners. Also 80 grit, and then a bigger sponge, because if you're using this to give it the shape, you probably end up doing it too much, that you might, you know, get to a point where if you sand too much, you're gonna have to apply more fiberglass, and you don't want to do that. So do it by hand at the end, just so you can get the perfect amount that you want to take off. All right guys, so it's been a little while. I had to order the wrap, and it took a little while for it to arrive, but I was able to finish prepping, but it should be good to go. I'm just gonna clean this up, wrap it, and then install the wing and see how it looks. Alright, so this is months after the wing was installed, but I feel like I had to give you guys a little bit of details on it. But you see how tight it is? That is after I painted it and wrapped the hatch. It looks pretty tight. I'm honestly really happy with the way it came out. Might need to clean it up a little more, but yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. I ended up painting the wing as the same texture as my taillights, which is Flex Seal, I believe. But I mean, I think it came out pretty good. It matches the louvers as well, but you guys can see it came out pretty good actually.